But the big question is, how far does it go? Because many feel like her apology was not enough. Joining me now to discuss, Gina Loudon, Mercedes Schlapp, and Lee Carter. I should point out, guys, that Squatty Potty dropped her, as well as a couple of other sponsors. So, and CNN finally, after 24 hours, deciding Mercedes that enough was enough.
Right. You know, obviously, the CNN has taken the right step. You know, we saw that Senator Al Franken was still saying that he was going to appear with her. And, you know, but we got to look at this from the sense of what this is so telling of the left in terms of that they really, I think that Kathy really felt that she could get away with this by posing with what is a very graphic photo. You know, it sends a very clear message, something that you would see ISIS committing in Iraq and in other parts of the Middle East, something that in our country should not even be allowed. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg had a shirt on where she had a photo. It was an image of President Trump, and they were blowing his head off. These are violent images that against our commander-in-chief that is absolutely unacceptable. And I think that you're seeing, obviously, the backlash through what CNN has done and what these other corporations are doing in distancing themselves from Kathy.
And I think Snoop Dogg also had some video where there was a caricature who at the end represented President Trump when he was shot. Gina Loudon, we learned today also that Barron Trump was watching TV and he thought that was his dad, or apparently TMZ reported that. You know, we'll look deeper into it. But imagine if that is true, this sort of shock and horror that the family is dealing with right now.
It really is. And Charles, I think this is why the American population has reacted the way it did to Kathy Griffin's so-called apology. There was no apology to the family of the president. There was no apology to the first lady. There was no apology to the children and grandchildren of President Trump. This was an apology that she had been despised for it. I mean, that's essentially what she apologized for. It was pretty much to her fan base, as it were, and as to what remains of it. But this is, I think we can look at two things. One is that this is what the left has become. We've seen it. We saw with Madonna talking about blowing up the White House. We've seen it with the violence that has taken place, the aggression against anyone who speaks in favor of the president. But this is also a good day, Charles, because as you pointed out, the free market has worked its magic. And sometimes if you just leave the free market to be, it will do that. And sponsors will pull away from people who are going to advocate such atrocities.
You know, I want the audience to listen to the, I'll use the air quotes, apology from Kathy Griffin.
Yeah.
I sincerely apologize. I am just now seeing the reaction of these images. I'm a comic. I crossed the line. I moved the line, then I cross it. I went way too far. The image is too disturbing. I understand how it offends people. It wasn't funny. I get it.
All right, you know, Lee, she apologized because people, how they reacted, not because she had an epiphany, not because she felt sincerely sorry. And to Gina's point, nothing to President Trump and or his family.
Yeah, I think this would go under the category of sorry, not sorry kind of apologies. I think she's sorry that she went too far and is having backlash. I totally agree with Gina. When you apologize, you need to apologize for the value or the thing that you offended. The value that she offended is that she pretended to behead the president of the United States. When you apologize for that, you have to speak to that. It's not just that I went too far. That is absolutely atrocious. And what I hope is, and my really sincere hope, is that this is when we realize how far is too far, this is it. As you mentioned, Snoop Dogg, Madonna, one after the other, we're talking about this. When they talk about how they don't like Donald Trump because he stirs up hate, look at this kind of hatred. Look at these images. I am so disgusted by it. If you want to disagree with Donald Trump, with his politics, with who he is, go for it. Free speech, I'm all about it. But there is a line, and this was way too far, and her apology, as far as I'm concerned, was a joke.
Mercedes, are you concerned about all of the hatred and anger out there that continues to manifest itself in different ways as we head into the summer? It feels to me that the country is heading toward a very dangerous summer.
Yeah, you know, Charles, I am concerned because I do feel that when you look at the president's message, for example, on the economy, that's something that actually does resonate with so many Americans. But at the same time, there is that constant wedge. It's that constant division where, while the president, who's not an ideologue in any way, I mean, on some of his issues, he comes across being a little more Democrat, and other issues, he comes across being more Republican. The Democrats are unwilling to let go of the hatred. They are unwilling to find common ground with this president. And what it's doing is that it's damaging our nation. It's damaging the ability for America to move forward on critical issues, whether it be the economy or national security. And so this constant mockery and this constant hatred coming from the left,
right.
I think it really is, it's a detriment overall to helping to heal this nation moving forward.
Ladies, thank you all very, very much. Ahead, President Trump